Hi everyone, and welcome to this video. Let's take a quick overview of what Symantec Endpoint Protection, or SEP 14, is and what it can do. We'll start with the most basic components, an antivirus. Antiviruses has been around for a very long time. What they do is quite simple. They hash suspicious files and then compare those hashes to hashes in their database. If the hash matches a hash of a malicious file, then they will block that particular file. If it doesn't, it will simply allow the file to move forward. This technique is great to stop many viruses that are out there. However, it's very easy to bypass antiviruses, which of course means that we will need other components in order to protect our environment. Each SEP agent comes with its own network firewall and intrusion prevention. This is not going to replace the firewall in your organization, but it will provide some protection to the endpoint, both in the organization and when the endpoint is being used outside the organization where a strong firewall may not be in place. SEP 14 also uses reputation analysis. You basically check the source of the file, which simply put is basically looking to see where the file came from rather than what the file is and what it does. Another component is the device control. The device control component, of course, allows us to control devices that are connected to the endpoint. We can decide to block or allow devices to be connected to the endpoint. We can also decide which particular devices we want connected to the endpoint. We can say that a certain flash drive can be used while others can't. Another two components are the advanced machine learning and the behavior monitoring. These components check to see how we use the endpoint, which makes it easier for them to detect certain anomalies in the future. So even if something seems to be okay, but it's not something that we usually do, it will raise a flag. You can think of the emulator as a sandbox, a mini sandbox. What it does is it quarantines certain files, or should I say packages, that are suspicious. It opens them in a safe environment, allowing all the different components of the SEP to investigate them further. If they check out, no problem. If they don't, they will stay in quarantine or be deleted later on, depending on the policy. The emulator is very important, as it allows the SEP 14 to do its job in a safe environment rather than directly on the operating system of the endpoint. The memory exploit mitigation components basically protects us from software that we know are good. So if we open a certain PDF, our operating system will allow that file a few blocks of memory so that the file and the software could run. However, the software doesn't always use all the memory that it's been given. And that is exactly where malicious code could be embedded. There's still enough memory so that the file itself would open and we can use it, but it's also doing something else in the background. Memory exploit mitigation takes care of that for us. Another component of the SEP 14 is a deception, what is also known as honeypots. The SEP 14 will try to entice hackers or malwares to try and attack certain files or certain parts of the system, or at least so they will think. SEP 14 of course will notice the attack and will block the attackers, keeping everything else safe and sound. Another two important components are the application isolation and the application control. These two components are highly important. Say that a certain application has a known vulnerability that has already been published, and there is a patch available, but we haven't installed it yet. Hackers can try to take advantage of that vulnerability. And because our application is not patched, it's likely to assume that they will succeed. But this is exactly where these two components come into play. They contain the application in a way that the vulnerability cannot be exploited. It doesn't mean you shouldn't update your applications, but this is just another layer of defense against vulnerability exploits. All of these components are part of the SEP 14. We will install the SEP 14 manager on our Windows server. We will decide our policy, create packages, and deploy them to all the different endpoints in our organization, which of course will mean that all of these endpoints will now be protected by the SEP 14. We will be able to push updates, update policies, generate reports, and much more. So let's proceed to the hands-on demo. Hey, if you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. For more news and updates, visit tombh.com. See you next time.